I know everyone pushes home ownership. You need to buy a home, but are you ready? Maybe you aren't ready. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go over 5 signs that may be an indicator that you aren't ready to buy a home now. Let's start here. Why do people push home ownership? Aside from people in the industry, family, friends, why is it seen as a good thing? There are many benefits to owning a home. You have the social, the stability, the security, but there's also wealth within real estate. Real estate can be a key in building wealth. You can get income from real estate, and generally over time, values increase, which means equity for you, equity that you could use to pull out and invest in property, send your kids to school. You may need it to take care of a family member. You may want to sell that home later on and then buy your next home, a bigger home. Or you can downsize, take out your equity and put that in your retirement fund. Like, there's so many options and possibilities that happen when you invest in real estate. But like I said, everybody may not be ready. And buying a home is something that you should do when you are prepared, not only educated, but you are ready to embark on the journey and ready for the responsibility that comes with home ownership. So what are these signs that you may not be ready to buy a home? You can consider this now before you even start your journey. You may be in your journey and it's not going how you expected it to go. You may need to pull back. Hopefully, you identify that you aren't ready before you even get out there, as to not waste your time, waste your agent's time, the mortgage lender, all the people that are involved within a transaction. And also, you don't want to lose money. And when I say lose money, like, you could get a house under contract and be ready to close, and then you decide, yeah, this isn't for me, and then you lose your earnest money. So this is something that you want to be sure of, that you want to embark on, that when you start the journey, you want to see it through to the closing table. So let's start with sign number 1. The first sign that you may really not be ready to embark on the home buying journey is that your expectations don't meet the reality of the market. In your mind, you don't want to spend any more than $300,000 for a home, but you want a new construction home, you want it in a good school district, you want all the upgrades, but you want to stay within $300,000, and you are set on specific areas that you want to live in. What you want is not matching what you could get in the market, because what you want is actually in the price point of $500,000. So there is a disconnect there with your expectation versus the reality of the market. That's sign number 1 that you may not be ready to buy. Usually when there's a disconnect like that, there has to be some adjustment, either an expectation. Normally that's like, all right, we need to consider other areas. We need to bump up our budget. We need to maybe get a smaller house. Maybe we need to consider schools in a different school district. There has to be some meeting of the minds to say, okay, how can we make this work in the market that we're in? Number 2, the second sign that you may not be ready to buy a home is that you want to submit lowball offers without any justification. Like, you want to get a deal. You remember the market of like 2008 when you could get like a mini mansion for $200,000. So you are set on bidding on homes and offering lower than what they're asking. Now, there's a time and place for this, and that's why you need to work with your realtor to look at what's going on in the market. Is this home priced correctly? What's the list to sales price that sellers in this market are getting? And then you notice I said submitting lowball offers without justification. So one of the things that I go over in my home buyers consultation, so when I am starting to work with somebody, we have this meeting so that we're on the same page, we understand each other's expectations, what the process is going to look like. It really helps the process going forward. So one of the things that I go over are these signs. And if you're going to submit a lowball offer, why? You shouldn't just be submitting an offer just to test it. If I'm going to submit a low offer for my clients, I need to be able to justify to the listing agent, to the seller, this is why the offer is coming in at what it's coming in. The house has been on the market for 365 days. These rooms need to be done. Based on the comps, this house is listed 20% over all the other homes. There needs to be some kind of justification. And if you're of the mindset that, okay, I just want to put in offers $20,000 below, $30,000, $40,000 below, just to see, if they'll take it, that can be a real waste of time. There should be a reason that you're doing this. Reason number 3 that you may not be ready to buy a home is your wishes keep changing. Like, you said you wanted 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, you wanted to be in this area, and then your wish list just keeps changing. You aren't sure what you want, and it's fine if you're not sure. That's why you got to do some digging. You got to do some researching. You may want to get out there and attend some open houses. You want to go to model homes. Just remember, when you are doing that, you are going to open houses, you are going to model homes, and they ask you, do you have an agent? You're going to say yes. Even if you have not identified your agent yet, you are going to say yes, because remember, the on-site agent, the listing agent, they represent the seller, the builder. They don't represent you. If I am representing somebody and they are my client, I can answer their question in a paragraph. Versus if they're my customer, I'm doing administrative duties. I can just do paperwork and I can answer you in a sentence. So do you want the guidance, or do you want somebody to just put in paperwork? By the way, I am a full service agent. I work with people that are clients, and I'm going to give them full service. Yes, you should get out there and explore, see what you like, so that when you do start working with someone, you are trying to identify what it is, your short list of the things that you want, your must-haves, your wishes. That's what you are looking for. It's really not the time for you to get out there and discover what your wish list is. Now, it's perfectly fine as you're out there looking and you're seeing things and you're like, hey, we thought we wanted a 4.3, but we actually are okay with doing a 4.2.5 because we see that we have more options in that market. Now, that's reasonable. That's fine. But if you really just have no idea, you want to live in every city, you want to see homes that are from 3 bedrooms to 5 bedrooms, you just want to see everything out there, that's an indicator that you may not be ready. Which takes me to number 4. The 4th sign that you may not be ready to buy a home is that you are out there and you are just seeing house after house after house. Like, this is not a tour guide. Now, the goal is to find the house, the home that matches your criteria. It's not the time to get out there and just be looking and seeing and deciding, which that ties into the previous one. So if you find yourself like you are just looking at house after house after house, maybe you really aren't ready to buy a home. And then that takes me to the 5th one. The 5th indicator that you may not be ready to buy a home is that you are seeing homes that match what you said you wanted, your must-haves, your wish list. You are seeing those homes, but you're not submitting offers. You're not putting in an offer. There's a disconnect somewhere. You said this is what you wanted. I've showed you as your agent what you wanted, but you're still not ready to commit. Some people do have that fear of committing. I have heard of people seeing like a lot of homes, like 50 plus homes, and they're still looking to buy a home for 2 years, in the process for 2 years. I cannot justify or understand why, if you're seriously ready, you are able, willing, and ready. Like, you want to buy a home that within 2 years the market has shifted. I don't get it. Like, if you get it, please drop it down below. Let me know. This is a process that like you could get this done in 30 days. So if you know what you're looking for, you could get a house, be under contract, and close within, I'm gonna say 30 to 45 days. You could get this done. So to say 2 years, you haven't seen anything that you wanted, it's a disconnect there. Now, if any one of these like hit home with you or stung you a little bit, it's just to give you something to think about. Like, maybe I'm not ready to buy a home. Okay, do I need to adjust my expectation? I'm like, what is really important to me? Because at the end of the day, I also don't promote just waiting. We just gonna wait. And why I don't suggest that you wait, because remember, as you're waiting, home prices go up, interest rate go up, and then you may say, I'm gonna wait for all that to come down. Yeah, there are people that have been waiting since 2020 for the prices and the interest rate to come down. And I'm gonna find this meme and I'm gonna put it in here, because you essentially might have waited for home prices to come down, but the interest rates went up, and the same house that you were looking at back then is now X amount higher just because you waited. So really think this thing through. Think this thing through. One, that you're really ready to buy a home in the current market that you're in. And then if you decide that you're gonna wait, just know what could come from that. And then also take into account like your financial position. Like, will you still be on that job? Will you still make the income that you're making so that you'll be able to qualify for this house? Or do you want to get in the house and secure the house, something that works for you, something that you can afford? And then maybe it's not your forever home. Maybe you buy this home, you let the equity build, remember what I talked about at the beginning, and then you're able to pull out the equity in a couple of years, a few years, and then buy your next home, or you keep that house as an investment property. But I know there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of noise. So I would just say, speak with your real estate professional. And I know realtors get realtors get done dirty. And I know everybody isn't perfect. And I know there are some not so good agents out there, but we really get the shorthand of the stick when it comes to what we actually do and how we actually assist people to achieve their goal of home ownership. So I would say, at least if you are thinking about it, you need some guidance, you schedule with an agent, you schedule to have a home buying consultation. I do mine via Zoom, and we walk through the process, like I said, so that you have a better feeling. And then another big thing is you want to get pre-approved. You want to know where you stand financially. You do not want to start looking at $700,000 homes and then find out you only qualify for a $400,000 home. And that's going to take us back to number one, your expectation does not meet the reality of the market. So then there's going to be some adjusting there. So I hope you found something in this video helpful. Please drop a comment down below if you have any other insight you want to share. You agree differently with anything that I've shared, I am totally fine. Share your input as long as it's respectful. It's welcome here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Again, please leave me a comment, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with somebody. It is free and it helps me. All right, I'm going to sign out here, but I'll see you in my next video. Have a positive, peaceful, and productive day. Bye.